Hello, I welcome you all for this webinar session. So the topic today which is to be covered is business analytics using R. Today we are just going to see some introduction which is related to business analytics. So I'll start my presentation now. So the topic for today's session is, as I said, it is business analytics using R. Today in this session, we are going to see the basic things which is related to analytics and what is business analytics and what is the need for a business analyst in today's world. And then we will have a comparative study with the other positions such as data scientist, data engineer, and simultaneously we will see some example problems where the business analytics or a business analyst will have a role. Finally, I'll end up with one particular case study where you can understand the importance of business analytics. So I'll keep the screen. I think it is visible for you people. Okay, to start with, I want to give just an introduction related to analytics. So what is analytics? So in terms of analytics, you will be giving a clear picture about the events that happened. So you will be considering the past, and based on the past data, you will be trying to predict the future outcomes. So this is what analytics it is. So actually, three questions will be there in mind. So what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen? So these are the questions which we will be able to try to answer in the near future. Again, we'll be seeing this. So what is the need for analytics again? After having a clear picture of events which happened in the past, we are just going to predict, as I said, and sometimes it is possible for us to optimize the business resources also. So this is what it is related to analytics in general. So the next slide is about the types of analytics. Actually, we are having three types of analytics which exist in the real world. So this is what it is. So this is what the basics of analytics. So here we are having three emerging areas. So first one, the basic one, it is called as descriptive analytics. So you can just have this in mind always. So this is the question which is related to descriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics, actually it is the basic type, and here we will be having only historical informations, and based on the historical informations, we'll be trying to find the patterns so that we can come to a decision making process. So this is what it is. So this is the basic type, and this will be used in day-to-day functioning, and it is the common one, and it's no complexity is being involved in terms of descriptive analytics, okay, or analysis. So this is the question which is related to descriptive analytics. So it is called as what has happened. So by default, you can have the keyword in the mind. It is related to history. So from that history of data, we'll be trying to find out the patterns which exist in the real world. Second one, what is the second type? After this, with the base as descriptive analytics, you'll be going for next type of analytics, which is there in the real world, and many options is there in terms of predictive analytics. So the question which is related to predictive analytics is what could happen? That is prediction. So this is what the second stage. So this is something related to like question, as I said, what could happen, but this is based on the descriptive models. And again, in terms of predictive analytics or analysis, we'll be having a combination of structured and unstructured data. Structured data in the sense you can just keep it in mind about like Excel sheet where you will be having everything in a structured format, or otherwise you can have a table in your mind where you will be having rows and columns combinations. So this is what it is called as structured data. Unstructured data in the sense Twitter, Facebook data, where no grammar, no formal contents is there. So like usually we'll be having all the combinations of data, that is structured as well as unstructured data. So again, we'll be having various sources. Okay. So from this, we have to create a model. The basic keyword which has been associated with every analytics is we have to create a model. So using that model, we'll come to a conclusion, maybe prediction in the near future. So what is the purpose of all these things? It is for decision making process, or sometimes it is for optimization. So these are the keywords which has been related to that. So for descriptive analytics, so what are the software tools or common tools which is used is, maybe you can use MS Excel. Already you will be familiar with all these things, MS Excel, SPSS and Stata. Okay, so here what we will be doing in terms of descriptive models is we will be using any of the statistical techniques or mathematical techniques. Suppose, consider that if you have been given with some house price data, that is, you would have been given with some table, like where you will be having data. So from that historical information, you have to apply some sample or a simple statistical and mathematical techniques so that you can just find out the trend and the patterns. So you will be gaining the insights, or you will be trying to understand the patterns or the behaviors which is there in terms of the data. So the common tools which is used for descriptive analysis is, as I said, MS Excel, SPSS and Stata, and even R nowadays. So for understanding this descriptive analysis, as I said, which is based on historical information, take the example of banking industry where they will be trying to find out customer segmentation. So here we will be analyzing the customer spending patterns and we will segment the customers. Based on the spending patterns, we will be segmenting the customers so that it will be useful for us to improve our business, or we can have the have success in a target of marketing as well as sales. So this is the one which is related to descriptive analytics. Similarly, as I said, predictive analytics also uses modeling approach. So again, we'll be creating a model, but with the help of some statistical techniques, we will be creating model. Here, we will be having a combination of structured as well as unstructured data. And here we will be having many concepts such as random forest, gradient descent, support vector machine, game theory, and other sophisticated algorithms will be there which help us to create model. So this is what it is, the second type, which is called as predictive analytics. So here, as I said, the common tools by default R is there. Other than that, Python, which is the real one, which is existing in the real world, and it is having more packages supporting this predictive analytics. Similarly, other tools which is there in the real world are RapidMiner, SAS, MATLAB. So R and all is open source. Even Python is open source. So like I'll tell you the website where you can go and download it. So it is easy for you people to use these software tools. So SAS is license 1. Anyway, corporate, they are using SAS. But before like going for SAS, it will be good enough for you people to have experience using R, and you can just move to the next stage of using Python. Why I'm telling you people to start with R and then to move to Python is, nowadays, you people like know your specialization such as finance and trade, everything can be achieved with the help of Python programming. So R is having more packages and it supports all the important features, and we are having built-in algorithms. Everything is there. But other than that, Python again, it is having some extended version during these days, and it is specifically related to the packages which allows us to use finance terms as well as trade, etc., which are the terms which we'll be using in terms of management. So here, like for descriptive analytics, we saw customer segmentation as an example, where we had a history of information, and from that historical data, we try to find out, or we try to analyze the customer spending patterns, and then we just created segments of the customer. So in terms of predictive analytics, we are just going beyond, and here in this, we'll be having example, maybe for the same banking industry, which is related to advanced campaign analytics. Or otherwise, in a simple words, you can try to predict like the credit card fraudulent transactions. So you can just sense and tell if you're building a model, predictive model. So with the help of that model, I'll be able to tell that, okay, this credit card transaction is fraud. This credit card transaction is not fraud. So how many percentage of fraudulent transaction has happened during that particular day or during that particular period? So these two types of analytics, that is descriptive analytics as well as predictive analytics, is very much important for you people. The last one, which is beyond the scenario, is called as prescriptive analytics. From the keyword itself, you can understand that prescriptive. So this is the most sophisticated type. Here you will be using simulation, and you will recommend the best possible solution or action, okay, based on given scenario. So this is what it is related to prescriptive analysis or analytics. So now we are in the starting stage of descriptive analytics, and then we have to move a step ahead, and then we have to go for predictive. So these two things are very much important in the real world industry. Okay, so what we saw, what are the three types we saw? Like it is first one, I'll repeat, it is a descriptive analytics or analysis. Then it is predictive analytics, and the last one is prescriptive analytics. Okay, so these are the types of analytics which exist in common. Now the target which we are having in terms of this webinar is related to business analytics. Okay, somewhat it like comes in business line. So now we will be able to understand what is business analytics, what are the positions which we are having in terms of business analytics, etc. So now to start with, we are having what is business analytics. Okay, so here if you find, you will be having you are having the symbols like Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc., and you are having all the gadgets. Yes, so what you mean by this is, the data is created by us. Okay, each and every person, each and every human, the data is created by us every day at a rate of 2.5 quintillion data, that is bytes per day. So this is what the latest scenario. So why we are going for business analytics? I'll tell you. So since the data is created every day at this rate, the thing is we don't have enough resource persons or business analyst or data scientist or data analyst or engineer, so that we can make use of them to come out with some predictions or to come out with some solutions so that they can go for business based decision making process. So this is what it is happening. So nowadays we are in need of maybe data scientists in simple way, or otherwise the next level business analyst is needed. Okay, so here if you consider this slide here, consider that you are in this scenario, consider that you are working in an insurance company. Okay, they want to improve the business, so they are asking, maybe the director, he or she is asking what are the potential ways to improve the business. So what you will think from your business point of view, so since this is insurance company, okay, you will be considering first point which will come to your mind is in terms of agents. Okay, so here the concept which has been given to you is you have to increase the business. For increasing the business, what are the possible conditions? So some of the conditions which you will come to know when you just move more closely to the businesses, you will be considering about agents, what is the profession they are having, maybe what is the qualification, or what is the specific talent they are having, what are the the specific area, locations or geographical information or demographic information. Yes, what is the education level they are having, whether they are talented or not. Yes, whether all the agents they are performing at a similar level, whether some agents maybe X or Y he is high performing, and if in case if he or she is high performing agent, yes, the details about those high performing agents, and in what condition they differ from other agents. So these are the questions which we have to come to know about from the data which is available. The thing is, so in the diagram itself you can sense that this round circle, it is related to IT department. The thing is, IT department, they will be having server, they will be having all the information. See, as I said, every day data is being generated. Again, their information will be there in terms of data, but nobody is there, yes, to go and retrieve the patterns which is necessary from our side. So this is what it is. So this is what it is related to business analytics. And here we are having a need for business analyst. Okay, so this is what it has been given in the slide also. So information will be there in server, but we have to try to find out the pull out the answers from that business. So again, we can improve our business. So what is expected from a business analyst? So in general, first of all, they have to understand the business, and they have to understand about the priority levels. So from that understanding, they have to have maybe they will be extracting the data. From that extracted data, they'll be trying to have observations, that is insights from the data is necessary. So these are the things, basic things from the least level. These are the basic things which is needed by a business analyst to have success. So what are the industries, or which industries need business analyst? See, no restriction is there. Every industries need business analysts. So to some extent, I have just given some industries only, such as e-commerce, supply chain, hospitals, restaurants, airlines, banking, telecommunication, etc. Similarly, even the functional units in an organization, such as marketing, operation, finance, sales, IT, each and every organizational functional units need business analyst. So why is the demand for business analysts is increasing continuously during these days? The thing, first point which has to come to mind is huge amount of data is being generated. There is demand for business analysts because if they understand the business, they can take decisions which is very critical for the improvement. So the final keyword which is related to demand is accuracy. Whatever decisions they are going to take in that, or the model which they have developed, it has to be accurate. So again, still demand is there. So business analytics. So the keyword business is related to understanding the business, and analytics is we are just going to apply statistics, computing principles, operation research, all these things in terms of analytics. So this is the two combination of keywords which is related to business analytics. So here you can sense that various roles is there. So data scientist, see many keywords exist there in real world. Data scientist is there, data analyst is there, data engineer is there, yes, business analyst is there. So machine learning specialist is there, analytics manager is there. See many words are there, sometimes overlap will happen. But for our understanding, which is very basic, today I'm just going to explain what is the basic difference in the roles which exist between business analysts as well as data scientists, somewhat with data engineer. This is a combination which I am just going to teach to you people today. So here you can find many roles. So one of the important roles which is related to you people is called as strategy roles. Okay. So here you can find again data scientist roles is there, tech role is there, reporting role is there. Yes. So similarly, you will be finding many roles, but the one which is important for you people is related to strategy roles. Again, you can find two subdivisions which is related to strategy roles. So I think you people know what is you people know very well about strategy. Yes, strategy management. So here the two types of roles, one it is related to business and another one it is related to corporate. Okay, corporate is much more related to portfolio management. Okay, but business strategy, it is related to the business process. So these are the two things which you will be having a subdivision in terms of strategy roles. Again, for business analyst, you must have all the understanding. So similarly, reporting roles, similar MIS, Management Information System, reporting roles, what has happened. This will be the question day. Simply the career the starting stage they will be having this role. They will be just giving out what has happened from the past history. Yes. So this is already you would have seen business intelligence, using business intelligence tools or using R itself. We can just develop dashboards. That is, we can create dashboards. So even for COVID scenario, you people would have come across dashboards which states that or which displays or which is used to give the visualization of the COVID status. Okay. So reporting roles is something related to historical information, and we'll be just giving what happened. Yes. And what are the visualization concept you will be using, so that we can just produce some business intelligence method sample. We'll be creating dashboards. So this is what it happens in terms of reporting roles. So similarly, you are having intermediate analytics role. This is a combination of both business as well as analytics. Here we'll be having a question in mind. As we said, actually this is related to predictive modeling. So we'll be having questions like what is happening now. Here we'll be focusing maybe sometimes we'll be focusing business to focus roles like product pricing. What is the price which we have to fix for that particular product, so that you have to sell that particular product. Like this, you'll be having many intermediate analytics role. So as I said, strategy role is the one which is important. Maybe in the market, you'll be having imperfections. But the role of the strategist is to identify those imperfections, and so that you have to turn your business towards a successful run. This is what it is. So based on that strategic principle, we are having both corporate level as well as business level. In corporate level, as I said, it is much more related to portfolio management. Second level, it is called as business level, that is role. This is much more related to the business. Maybe the main focus is like business. In business, maybe like one of the focus from our side will be maximizing the net revenue. So first one, corporate level, it is much more related to portfolio, and maybe second one, it is related to business keywords. Example, maximizing the net revenue. So these are the roles which exist in the real world. So the last role which we are having is data scientist role. This is very specific. So we will be having all the combination of skills for this data scientist role. So what are the different types of skills they will specialize is, we can have text analytics. Sample, it is called as NLP, natural language processing, text analytics. So text analytics, it is there for you people also, for your business also. Sample, what you can do is, they will be going for auction and all, or otherwise they'll be trying to create a recommendation engine, recommender system or recommendation engine. Or otherwise, what you can do is, from the Twitter data, yes, you will be trying to find out some patterns. So you will be trying to find out whether the particular post is related to negative or positive. Yes, some maybe nowadays they are restricting COVID related informations and all, maybe WhatsApp messages and all. For that, you can use text analytics. Okay, you are having some special algorithms, you are having some special tools for each and everything. So you can just do this. So similarly, image processing as well as video processing, it involves more steps. It is specifically related to data scientist role only. So business analytics, it is not useful. You have to move one step ahead, so that from the business analyst, maybe you can just try to move towards data scientist role. Here, with the sample images, you can just find out if accident has happened, from the sample image, you can just try to find out what is the condition or what is the reason behind that particular accident, and then you can produce that particular report to the insurance company so that they will take the necessary action. So this is one of the example. Okay, so like this, we are having variety of skills which is needed for a data scientist role. So for this, they'll be using machine learning, artificial intelligence, nowadays deep learning, etc. Each and every techniques they'll be using. So now, as I said, I'm just going to give a clear-cut idea about the 3 keywords which always we are getting confused with. So the first keyword is data scientist, second keyword is data engineer, and the third keyword is called as business analyst. Okay, all the 3 keywords, they are having only common principle, that is, we are just going to extract value out of data. Okay, so these are examples which I have given is related to an electric vehicle startup company. So consider that you people are a HR manager. So now we want to create job families. Okay, so when you went inside that particular company as an HR manager, while starting your career, you find that jobs are not being categorized. So now it is your work, so that you will be creating job families. So if we consider that we are creating job families, I'm just going to tell you like, no, these three things will be very simple. So first one, it is scientist role. So the keyword which you people have to keep it in mind is researching. Okay, this is the important keyword which you will be having in terms of scientist. Okay, so with the help of researching, you will be trying to build a model so that you can predict the future outcomes. Okay, so whatever it has been researched and given as a model, okay, the engineer, data engineer, they'll be building it. Okay, so they'll be building in terms of this electric vehicle startup, they'll be building the electric engine which is used in automobiles so that they can produce it to the customer. Okay, so this is what it is, and they have to follow the timelines. Finally, management, mid management or management. Here they'll be like no having the business plan, and they'll be having like no trying to take decisions related to the capital, yes, and all the strategic principles which they have to follow in terms of the startup. So these are the three job families or roles which I'm just going to like no talk about with the help of some more examples. So this is the definition which I've just given. So as I said, scientist. So this is beyond that like no business analyst level. So here it is very complex. Okay, you have to like learn more things, and machine learning as well as artificial intelligence knowledge is a must. Okay, so engineer, those who are going to implement it. Okay, and based on the timelines, and while like no implementing, they'll be following the best practices. Mid management, so they'll be taking like no on the daily like no functionalities, based on the daily functional no functional like no conditions, they'll be taking decisions on a day to day basis. So these are the terms which has been related to job families. For each and every term, I'm just going to tell you like sample examples. So actually this is like a quiz, but anyway, just for information, I've just given the answer also. So two keywords you keep it in mind. Data scientist, the complex level. It is used to like no build machine learning or predictive models. ML stands for machine learning. So build machine learning or predictive models. Okay. So the second keyword which is pertaining to you people is called as business analytics. Here you are just going to use the data which is already present in the server of your company so that you can just come to a conclusion, maybe business decision making process. Okay. So here I'm just going to start with one example, that is example number 1. Here like I'll tell you the keywords also. So this is an example which is related to data science professional. So the keyword is we are just going to build a model to predict which transaction is fraudulent. Here to find this, to create this model, we will be using any of the algorithms that we can use in the near future. But for building this model, what are the conditions or what are the characteristics which we have to consider? We will be having so many variables, and like no, we will be having geographical details will be there. We have to try to find out which location that particular card has been used or the transaction has happened. Each and everything we have to like no consider perfectly so that finally we'll come with a model. So these are the like no conditions which is related to creating this model. So real-time decision making process has to be implemented with the help of model, which we are just going to develop or developed. So we'll be having like no always in terms of this transactions, maybe in terms of banking, we'll be having fast flowing data. So real-time decision making process. That is a keyword which you have to underline. Mostly 99% plus of transactions will not be fraud. So we have to consider only like no maybe that 1% we have to consider. So again, out of 99, 1% only we are just going to consider. So again, it is a complex one. So this is how you have to come to a conclusion that this is the work of a data science professional. Similarly, second example which I have projected is related to building a business plan. Make a note of this keyword. Here you had a keyword which is called as building a model to predict, yes, some transaction. Here you are having a keyword which is related to building or build a business plan to decide how many employees a bank need in maybe in the near future 2025. So this is forecasting. Okay, so for this, like know how many employees a bank needs in the near future, that is 2025. So you're forecasting. So while forecasting, so you can just like no observe, or you can just make use of the effects of that macroeconomic changes also, whatever happens. So you have to consider the current situation also. So that is why that change, example COVID spread also has been considered and has given in this. Okay, so we have to build a forecast with different scenarios, and then we have to finally build a business plan. So this is what it is, the work which is related to business analytics professional. Okay, similarly I have given other two examples. Okay, one is related to data scientist and another one it is related to business analyst. Okay, for your kind consideration. So like no data scientists again use vehicle images from the accidents and assess the extent of damage, so that we can just give a or produce a report to the insurance company for the decision making process. This is automation principle. So this is what it is. It is highly complex because from the images with different resolutions, we have to work out and we have to extract only the part of damage information which happens in terms of this vehicle images. So this is the work of data scientists without fail. So again another example. How much will bad debts rise given the current macroeconomic situation? So this is related to business plan. So you'll be considering the similar data from the past history, and then you'll be trying to build the scenarios, and you will be making some assumptions. Based on that, you will be trying to create a business plan. So this is probably the work of a business analyst. Okay, so as a business analyst, or maybe in the near future, to become a business analyst, for you people, the keyword which you have to keep it in mind is, if it has something related to small data and uncertain situations, you can just rock, yes, with a startup role as business analyst. But if it is a like maybe an MNC with high velocity of data, or like no big data is the keyword which has been associated with MNCs, like 3 V's is there. Okay, variety, velocity and varsity, everything is there. So like if the like no company is based on like no big data, yes, concept, then data scientist role will be good. Okay, these are the two conditions which you have to keep it in mind. So this is the career path for business analyst. So you will be having a startup role as business analyst. Okay, so in terms of business analyst, you will be working with like no small independent problems. So you will be there along with your team of experts, not alone. Okay, so this will be a startup role. Second one is, again, you will move ahead with senior business analyst. Here, the entire project will be having several parts of a problem, and you will be like, no, instead of small independent problems, you will be given with large problems, maybe a part. Yes, so that is the work of senior business analyst. And after that, the role will be analytics manager. So to manage the team, sometimes they'll be managing the team directly, or like no, they'll be simply helping the team. Okay, so this is the role of analytics manager. After that, you'll be having or finding a role like no, which is called as analytics industry leader. So this is mentoring, which is related to mentoring. Like no, they won't like no be in that particular project. It is related to mentoring. They'll be helping you they will be like having the position, so that they'll be helping you people, like across domains and across products they will be. So this is the role of analytics industry leader. Like team leader, you will be having analytics leader. And the last one, it is called as organization leader or strategy leader. Maybe the organization level, career, which is maybe CEO and other positions. So this is the career path which is related to business analyst. So I repeat, first, you will be having a startup role which is related to business analyst, and then you will jump to senior business analyst, and then analytics manager, and the fourth one it is analytics industry leader, and the final one it is organization leader. So this is what you will be having as a career path in terms of business analyst. So what are the skills? How you have to think to be a business analyst? What are the properties? What are the characteristics which you have to have in mind? What are the soft skills which is needed so that you can just become an effective business analyst? First thing, you have to ask lot of questions out of your curiosity. So without this, you won't get a startup role. It is 100%. Yes, without curiosity, that is without asking lots of questions, you can't move ahead. So the first and the foremost effective characteristics, okay, the foremost characteristics which is needed by a business analyst is curiosity. Okay, why this is? So you have to ask yourself, maybe during the startup role, yes, starting career, you have to ask many questions within yourself. Okay, suppose if I'm just giving you one data set, I think you people are aware of data set, that is collection of data. Okay, so you will be having data in terms of table. You just consider about Excel sheet where you will be having rows and columns. Yes, so that is what it is called as data set. I'll show to you people in a short while. Okay, so this data set, if it has been given, you have to just go through the columns as well as rows, and you have to ask multiple questions. So what is the pattern or what is the trend which is possible from your side to observe? Yes, whether any ups or downs is there, what are the variables and what is the type of the variables, and how the multiple variables are playing their role. Each and everything you have to be aware of. So the next characteristics, it is related to logical problem solving. You have to try to understand the relationship as well as the movement which happens in terms of variable. So again, you have to pay high attention for all the details. For that, sometimes it is possible for us to view the particular data set and come to a conclusion. Sometimes it is not possible. So at that time, what you people can do is, you are having some visualization tools, that is graphical tools, which is there in every language. And in R, we are having R maximum, it is related to visualization principles. We are having varieties of techniques which is related to visualization principles. So using that visualization, you can just have some decision making process. Out of that visualization, you can come to a conclusion. So how that particular, maybe suppose I'm having two variables X and Y, how these variables, whether these variables X and Y are interrelated or not interrelated, or one variable X will affect the another variable Y. Like this, you can just come to a conclusion by paying high attention of details. Final one, before going for that, we have to have stakeholder management. Maybe stakeholders, you people know the definition, internal to the organization, yes, within the functional unit, across the functional unit, as well as external to the organization. So all these things you have to consider in terms of stakeholder management. You have to manage, yes, all the stakeholders without fail. And finally, you will be interdisciplinary projects will be there by default without fail. So you have to feel comfortable while working in cross-functional projects, like based on various departments. So these are the characteristics which is needed by an business analyst. That is soft skills which is related to that. So here I've just presented some terms which is related to business analysts. As I said, management information system, detective analysis, business intelligence, that is dashboard, predictive modeling, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. Now I'm not going to touch any of these words. We are just dealing with only business analytics, okay? But these are the terms which you'll be finding in the near future, which is related to your role. So now I'm just going to, after business analyst, okay, you have to know what is meant by predictive modeling without fail. So you'll be having some role of predictive modeling in terms of business analytics, okay, without fail. Even though you will start with, that is descriptive analytics, that is you would have studied as descriptive statistics. Yes, so like that, even though you start with descriptive analytics, okay, some knowledge related to predictive modeling is also must in terms of business analysts. So that is why I've just given this. So we are just going to see what is the keyword which is related to predictive modeling. So here, please underline and keep it in mind this keyword, proactive predictions. So what we are just how we are just going to predict. Yes, maybe any examples. Sample, restaurant revenue prediction. So from your business point of view, if I'm just giving this topic, so what does it means is, like if I'm just going to start a new restaurant, maybe X, okay, a branch of X, or you just consider that AB, Adyar Anand Bhavan, as a sample. If I'm just going to start, okay, I want to start a branch means I'll just do predictions, okay. So I'll go for predictive modeling and I'll be using any of the algorithms. Either I'll be using the existing algorithms or otherwise I'll be finding my own algorithm so that I can create a model. And with that model, I can come to a conclusion based on the accuracy level of that particular model. I can come to a conclusion if I'm just going to start A to B in Tanjavur area, whether it will be success, or otherwise if I'm going to start it in Tiruchi, whether it will be success for me or not. Okay, based on the locality, I have to just come with predictions. So like for this proactive predictions, I'll be going for predictive modeling. So while doing predictions for that restaurant revenue predictions, what I have to consider is based on locality. If I'm just going to start an old bus stand of Tanjavur, I'll be considering the demographic details of that particular location, and based on that I'll come to a conclusion whether if I'm going to start this particular restaurant in that particular area of old bus stand Tanjavur, whether it is beneficial for my business or not, or whether it is success for me or not. Okay, so this is what it is. So this term also business analyst has to know. For predictive modeling, the better tool is always Python without fail. Okay, so here another keyword other than proactive predictions, another keyword which you have to keep it in mind is granular in nature. That is granular predictions. Who are the customers who will be coming to that particular restaurant? Yes, for the maybe for the 6 months period. Okay, so based on that we will act accordingly. So this is again another example which is related to predictive modeling. Okay, so here another important term I've just given for you people, especially it is called as forecasting. So as it says, this is a process of predicting or estimating the future based on past and present data. Thing is, only one difference is there. Here we won't look into the granular outcomes. But in terms of predictive modeling, PM here stands for predictive modeling. But in terms of predictive modeling, we'll be just going for granular outcomes. This is what the difference that exists between forecasting and predictive modeling. So as a business analyst, you must inculcate all these knowledge within you people, yes, without fail. So the same difference I just given for your reference. Okay, so So this is the next topic, skills and tools required in terms of business analytics. That is how we are just going to proceed. Okay. First, you will be starting with defining your business problems, which you will be converting to data related problems. And then in the second step, okay, so for defining the business problems, you need domain knowledge without fail. Domain knowledge without fail. If they are working for electrical vehicle engine, domain knowledge is a must. Okay, so without that, it is not possible. So you will be using your experience and domain knowledge so that you will be creating your, you will be defining your business problems. The second step is identify whatever information it is there in terms of data. Maybe you can just visualize and you have to extract it. You have to pull it out. For that, you will be using hypothesis building and testing. Maybe for the back end, you will be using SQL, that is databases, okay, or database. So this is what it is, the second step or second skill which is related. Finally, you will be performing the analysis from the data which you have extracted, and then you will present it to the stakeholders. So for this analysis, you will be using any of tools like Excel or Python language or R or statistical techniques, and you will be using simulation, that is high level simulations. You can use a visualization principles such as you can create dashboards. You can even, one concept is there which exists in real world nowadays, which is called as storytelling, that is data stories. This is not related to the normal colloquial keyword which you will be using in the real world. So this is related to how we are just going to present huge amount of data in a single shot, that is in terms of stories. Okay, so that is the latest keyword. Already you people will be familiar about dashboard, but the thing which you have to know is called as data stories or storytelling. So that is the recent trend which exists there in the real world. Okay, so before going for this, any questions? Shall I continue? Shall I continue in the same mode? Any questions is there?
Ma'am, could you
Yes,
hear
sir.
me? Okay, I'll just ask students in case if they have any doubts or clarification to check with you, ma'am.
Yeah, no problem, sir. After that, I'll proceed with another.
Okay, students, if
Yeah.
you, yes, ma'am. How much more time, ma'am? Maybe another 20 minutes?
No, sir. Still, I'm having more contents. But whether they are able to
Okay.
understand, whether the flow they are able to understand, at least I have to know, no, so that I'll just again
No,
proceed.
no, definitely. Definitely, I'm continuously listening. I'm sure they will be understanding. Anyhow, we'll ask them any one or two questions right now
Okay,
to
sir.
you, ma'am. Okay, students, if any of you have a doubts or clarification or anything to be checked with in terms of interpretation, feel free to ask questions to ma'am. Especially engineering graduates, those who please check with the questions. Ma'am is awaiting for your questions. Please unmute your volume and then proceed.
If you don't have any questions, I'll continue with one case study which is very important, and then finally we'll have it.
Yes, ma'am, that would be a better
Okay,
choice,
finally
ma'am.
I'll so till now I've taught you I've just given a glimpses of knowledge which is related to business analytics and the varieties of roles as well as the skills which is required. Now I'm just going for one particular case study which is of very importance to you people. Okay, so I'm just going to have a case study which is related to exploring and discovering data. Yes. Okay, now it is. So this is a case study which is related to exploring and discovering data. Maybe this is the role which you have to play in the starting of your career. Okay, like maybe descriptive analytics or descriptive statistics. In your words, it is related to descriptive statistics. Yes. So this is a case study approach. So here you'll be having a data set. Okay. Till now, I have not shown you. I know that very well. I have not shown you like any like maybe R tool and all, how to install and all. First, you people must be aware of what is this role, what is this kind of role, what is the skill which is required from your side. Everything you have to be aware. So that is why I didn't. Okay. So anyway, so I'll tell you one thing. All these like no model building as well as descriptive statistic, everything will be building with the help of, today the focus is on R programming language. So here you will be having this. So I think this particular screen is also visible for you people. So this is a like no programming tool which is called as R Studio. So this is open source software. So by default, you can just go to the internet in search engine. You can just put R Studio download. It will ask for which operating system you have to install. So you can just select Linux or Windows, whatever it is. By default, it will get downloaded and you can install it. Normal procedure. So here, the thing is, you will be having, I think you people are like no observing, you are having 4 subdivisions. I'm just marking like no with the help of mouse. Okay, this is one subdivision, one box. Yes, section. So this is global environment section, and this is the one which is related to, you can send packages. Yes, so this is another section, and this is the last section which is related to console or terminal. Console or terminal. Okay. So this is how you will be finding the R environment, that is R Studio environment. Here, like everything is in terms of packages. So what is meant by package? It is a preloaded content. Suppose consider that you want to summarize. That is, you want to like no create summary of all the variables or all the attributes that is there in data set. So we are having a keyword or we are having a function which is called as summary. Okay, this is how for each and every like no related actions will be having some like no input, maybe in terms of functions or in terms of keywords. Okay, so this is again a different scenario, but now I'll just continue and I'll give you like no the learning principles which is related to exploring and discovering data like with the help of this case study. So here for this case study, you consider that we are having a house price data. Sample I have given. From the sample, as a business analyst, okay, you have to like no have like as I said, curiosity is a must. You have to ask a lot of questions within yourself. Yes. So this is a sample data set which has been given for you people. So you have to find out how many variables is there. Yes, that is attributes, and what is the type, whether it is numerical or whether it is categorical. Yes, here brick is a combination of categorical variable. NDHD stands for neighborhood, that is the direction east, west, north, south. Okay, and other things are numerical variables. So this is what first you have to analyze. Okay, and after that, like no proceeding, what you will be trying to do is you will be trying to find out the relationship that exists between the variables. Sample, if you are just going to buy this particular house, okay, what is the condition which you prefer? Okay, some they will be preferring, I need this much of square feet, and in that particular square feet, I need to have a combination of this much number of bedrooms or this much of bathrooms. Yes, so this is what the condition is. So I am just presenting here in this slide sample of the data set. Okay, so here what we are just going to explore today. and how we are going to discover data. That is the point. For that data exploration, okay, what are the basic tools which you are going to use? That is what we are going to see. Same thing, I can just give in our environment like as a command, so that I'll be getting all the visualization effects. The same visualization effect which I got in RStudio with the help of some functions or keywords or packages, I just given for your reference. Okay. So here data exploration is a must. What is the need for data exploration? We will be having better understanding of the business. Then only we'll start that. As I said, you will be converting the business problem into data problems. Yes, here only that particular action takes place. So now you will be trying to better understand the data, and you will try to become familiar with that. You will be trying to finding out the possibilities more closely. You will be trying out to find the possibilities that exist between the data. So you can just come to a pattern analysis. Okay, even what you will be uncovering is, you will be trying to find whether any anomalies exist, when any outliers is there, that is out of scope. Yes, so each and everything you will be trying to do with the help of data exploration. Okay, for that basic tools, today what I'm just going to cover is in terms of two types. So I'm just going to explore the data by using single variables. That is, with a single variables, I will be trying to find out the distribution. Yes, for that I have used some tools. First one, summary statistics. Second one, frequency tables. Third one, histograms. And fourth one, it is box plot. And the next division which I'm having is, I'll be trying to explore the pairwise relationships that exist among variables. For that, what are the tools is scatter plots, correlation tables, and cross tabulations. So this is what we'll be seeing. So this is the house price data which I've just given for you people sample. Okay, so here, as I said, maybe I will be having many goals. The company, based on the company's environment, will be fitting the goals. So one of the goals, how much more price does the price increase for each additional square footage? Whether the material, siding material, that is brick or non-brick, will have a significant impact on the price, selling price. Again, similarly, whether the neighborhood, the direction, that is north, east, south, by default we are having, we know that. But anyway, from the sample data, we have to find out whether this matters, that is neighborhood, location matters, or it is having a significant impact on the price. So this is what it is. Maybe some of the goals which we have to consider. Okay, so as I said, I just taken the deviations. Yes, to achieve this goal, I'm just going to do the distribution of individual variables, that is single variables, and then I'm just going for relationship that exists between multiple variables. Okay, pairwise relationship. Okay, if I'm just giving summary as the keyword, as I shown to you people in RStudio, we will be getting summary statistics. So summary statistics, what are the things which we will be having by default is, yes, if I'm just going to give the summary statistics, I'll be having the output as with that one keyword. Yes, with that one particular functionality which is there in terms of our programming language, I'll be given with output as, I'll be given with minimum value. Yes, you can find minimum value with related to price, square foot, number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and discount offers. Okay, similarly, I'll be given with maximum value. I'll be given with the first quadrant and the third quadrant value. I'll be given with median and mean, and finally with standard deviation. So by default, I'll be getting the summary statistics of the house price data, which I showed to you. So now again observe, this is the raw data which we have taken. So this is the data set. Okay, we are having, maybe we will be having IDs from 1 to 1000, and maybe 1000 rows is there. Yes, for each and every row we'll be having all the options, that is data. For that, 1000 rows, I have performed summary statistics. So by default, I'm getting this. Okay, with the help of this, I can just come to a conclusion. That is, what are the inferences I can just do. So the same thing I've displayed. Average house price equals from this value you can just come to a conclusion. So what is the average house price? 1 lakh, maybe $1,30,427. Okay, so again, okay, you can find, you can infer from this particular summary statistics itself whether it is skewed. Okay, somewhat it is possible for you people to find out that it is skewed in terms of summary statistics. But if you want to have better insight about the skewing, you have to again go for some other visualization principles, which I'm just going to teach you in the maybe in the next slides. Okay, so like this, you can just come to a conclusion that the most expensive and the least expensive houses is sold for, that is maximum value, yes, and minimum value. The maximum value 211, 200, and the minimum value of the price, that is minimum price for that particular house is 6900. So like this, you can come to inferences with the help of summary statistics, which you will be applying in terms of individual variables. Yes, so you are trying to find out the distribution of data with respect to individual variables. Please understand. So this particular price is having individual data distribution. So the data distribution is explained to you in terms of minimum, maximum, and etc. So this is what the first tool which you will be using for finding the distribution among single, that is with single variables. Okay. Similarly, next one. See here only in that particular table you can sense that how many variables are there, including ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so here only the first 5 are numerical data, that is price from price till offers. So only for that summary statistics can be applied. Okay, so that is what I've given. But for the categorical variables, that is yes, no, yes, submit, no, not submitted, status is like that. Yes, gender, female, male, yes, combination, yes, brick, yes, no, combination, non-brick, like that, neighborhood, directions, each and everything they can come under categorical variables. So for that, summary statistics is not possible since they are not numerical variables. So you have to go for frequency table. So that is what it has been given. So the two categorical variables which is there in that house price data set is, one is called as brick, that is whether it is brick or non-brick. Another one is the directions, the locations. Okay. So again, from this you can just come to the conclusion, that is brick, non-brick category as well as brick category. Yes. So this is what the inference is. So you can come to a conclusion that most houses are built from non-brick material. Okay, non-brick material 86. So that has been converted to percentage. Okay. So similarly, histogram. So this is for a single variable. So I'm just checking for the price combination, that is data distribution. So from this again, you can just find out the bars which you are having. Yes. So from this again, you can just come to a conclusion. Okay. What is the price, whether it is skewed or not. Yes. Whether you are having outliers or not. Each and everything we can just capture from this. So this is very much important for us. So like this, we can just proceed with other visualization principles which we are having in R. R, it is having nearly many packages. Each and every concept is there in R. Only thing is we have to download the package, and based on that package, we have to just give the keywords or the algorithm names. After that, it is very easy. So from that histogram, that is price histogram, you can just visualize the entire data distribution, and you can see that some difference is there between that particular value. See here, like no between these values, and like no huge like no maybe like these and all, it is constant. Here like unusual bump is there, yes, in terms of this bar which happens between these values, yes, 1 0 0 triple 0 and 1 like maybe in between, yes, 1 2 0 triple 0, this is what it is. So like this you can come to a conclusion. And similarly, in a single like no with a single keyword, you can just go for many different variables. So this is also possible. Again, for this we are having some other keyword which is related to that other than histogram. Okay, so the next one, it is box plot. Same box plot price. See here it is skewed. Okay, so like no, this is again visualization of this variable, single variable only. Okay, here you will be having quartiles of distribution. Okay, like no, if it is marked outside like this in term of circles, it means that it is outliers, that is beyond the scope. So like again you can have like no more like no distribution, the entire distribution of this single variables when compared with histogram. This is again an alternative way, like no high like no performance result will be there in terms of this box plots. So this is also possible. Okay, so you can come to a conclusion here, like no this is with this diagram you can come to a conclusion that it is rightly skewed. Okay, so box plots again it is possible for having the entire distribution. You can just like no check out whether it is skewed or not, whether it is right skewed or left skewed. Yes, again you can have entire values. So again, this is one of the important tool which we are having in terms of analysis of single variables. Okay, so next one, scatter plot. So as I said, the second goal is to find out the relationship that happens between maybe two variables. Okay, starting with two variables. Here two variables is there, one in terms of square foot and another one in terms of price. So again, you can just come to a conclusion based on the scatter plots. You can come to a conclusion whether like no any possibility is there or whether any deviation is there. Again, here you can just find out whether a positive relation exists between the two, and other thing is you can find out whether the relationship is linear or not. Okay, so like this you can just come to conclusion with the help of the scatter plot. Okay, same thing has been given for all the numerical variables, that is all the 5 numerical variables. Yes, similarly, correlation principle, you would have studied Pearson correlation. So you know that the value that is in diagonal, you know about 1. So same, you can just find out with the help of a single like no function which is called a CORR in terms of R language. Again, here inference is possible. Okay, so you can just find out whether it is positive or negative. With the help of this, you can come to a conclusion whether it is strongly positive or strongly negative. Yes, or it is weak positive, whatever it is. And finally, cross tabulation for brick and neighborhood. See, what we saw in the previous thing is for categorical variable is frequency table. Okay, frequency table, here you can find the difference. This is for single variable. For brick, you are having frequency table, and for neighborhood, you are having frequency table. So this is different, and this cross tabulation is like no pairwise relationship. So this is different. Okay, we are just comparing between the two variables, brick as well as neighborhood. So like this, you can just have cross tabulation for any two categorical variables, and you can infer, okay, like whether the some relationship exists between the two variables. That is whether like no based on the brick, yes, the neighborhood varies or not, or any relationship exists between this brick as well as neighborhood in terms of directions. So like this, you will be having varieties of techniques which is present in R. Thing is, you have to start your career in business analytics. So to start with, in R language, We are having many simple commands. Everything is easy, but step by step you have to try to do it. Starting itself, you can't go for predictive modeling and all. First, you have to start trying out all the R basic commands. Sample, if I'm just talking about basic commands, okay, as I said, this is the R Studio. The basic commands is how I'll be setting my directory. You know that what is meant by folder or what is meant by directory, which you will be using in terms of window environment. Like that, for your R, you have to use set your particular, for your R environment, you have to set your directory. Okay. So like this, you'll be having. So this is one of the command. Get working directory. Command which is okay. As I said, it's related to all the attributes. Similarly, you may have data structures which allow you to create data sets. Okay. Secondly, I said you have to start with abstract. You have to file, you write, and you have be extension be .r. This is how you get your script. Will be there load for you. So then you have to start typing all those things. Okay. So here, if I want, if I'm just having Hello, sir.
Ma'am, I'm able to listen you. You can
Okay,
proceed.
finally I'll end with this. Okay, so this is how Excel sheet,
Yes.
existing Excel sheet, sorry, presentation mode varnolya. It is there in presentation mode. Okay.
No, ma'am. Yet to start. Presentation mode ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಅದ ಇನ್ಮೇಲೆ தான். Okay, now I started. So this is how your existing Excel sheet will be there. What you have to do is you have to go and give us save as. There you will be finding save as type option as. You have to go for this comma separated version, that is comma separated file, that is comma delimited file, CSV format. So you can just select this and then you can just give the maybe different name or same name and then you can just give save. So this is how you will be creating comma separated values file. CSV stands for comma separated values file. Okay, so here you can find the difference. After saving, you can find the difference in terms of icon itself. You'll be having the combination, as Microsoft Office Excel worksheet. And after saving, you can find that particular format will be having Microsoft Office Excel comma separated value file. Okay, so this is the difference between this icon and this icon. So this is the method which you will be using to create your maybe use your data set, existing data set within our environment. This is one option. Or the next option is, what you can do is you can start with Excel, or otherwise you can just go with this. You can have a notepad and you can type the comma separated values, whatever columns with headings or without headings. You can just give sample like this. Yes, the ID, the name, as well as their age maybe. Yes, so like this you can just give and you can just go and save this as comma separated values. That is also possible. While saving, what you have to do is you have to give double quotes and then give name of the file along with extension like this. Okay, sample.csv. So by default this will be saved as your CSV format. So what is the next step is you have to load that CSV file format into our environment and work. Okay, you can load the data from Excel or otherwise from SPSS. See, for any tool all the packages is there which is there in terms of our language. No need to worry how to install, how to load that particular data. For each and everything, some particular package is there or particular functionality will be there that we have to learn. So based on that, you can import your data set into that R environment. Sample, after importing that particular data set with the help of any of these methodology which I shown to you, sample data set will be like this. So now I have opened a particular data set where I'm having some columns, that is rows and columns, which is related to airline passengers data sets. So similarly like this, once you have loaded your particular data set into your R environment, by default you will be having all the data set which has been loaded into our environment in this particular section. So sample, here it says this SS is a data frame. Actually here the data set is related to data frame. Okay, so here you are having 111 observations and 6 variables, means that 111 rows is there and 6 columns is there like this. So this is what it is, basics which you have to understand from the commands which you will be applying in terms of our environment. Like this, you have to learn more things. Okay, today I have presented to you people only the few things which is related to business analytics, the importance of business analytics in the real world. You will be having more demand in the near future. even data scientist role and business role, scientist, like no analyst role, like no, both will go well for the near future. Like no, for many years it will be there. Like so, you have to like no change your career, or you have to like no put in your mind like no what is the thing which we have to do or you have to do, so that you can just come to a conclusion with all the like no sharing of principles which I just given or presented to you people. Okay, so still more things is there, simply like no out of this hour like no I've just given like only a small like no glimpse of contents which is related to business analytics using R. But if you are just going for our tutorial or for our programming language, you have to like no be familiar with like no the basic things again. You have to study that we will see in the later part. So if you have any questions now, yes, you can.
Okay. Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hello. And now the students will ask, no, I'll put a formal thank, don't worry. Annie Shilpa, could you please ask the question, ma'am? The question which you have asked, just ask the question to ma'am.
Yeah. Good morning, Shilpa. So your question is, what are all the programming languages in the coding level needed for data analytics job? And in Python, which libraries to focus on analysis? See, if you want to become a business analyst, better you start your career with R language and then proceed to Python. Okay, so this is my suggestion out of my experience. Okay, so like no, in Python, like no, for each and everything we are having more libraries. Okay, single library and all you can't focus, because it is based on the scenario. See, nowadays interdisciplinary projects or research works has been granted maybe fund, or like no they are given more importance. So you need to know, if you are just going for Python, without fail you have to be aware of all the libraries which is related. Okay, so if you want you can just select maybe one particular area, maybe you are having machine learning, and then you are having deep learning, and then again we are having IoT and all. So in that area you can be very specific. But according to me, the programming languages which you have to know in terms of coding level for your data analytics job is, if you are just going for data analytics job, better you start with Python and you just proceed. So Python, it is having everything, without fail you'll be in success within few days. Okay, but if you want to become a business analyst, you start with R, and then after getting some experience you proceed with Python. Okay, Sudhir Kodi, which software is widely used, ma'am, R or Python? So the same answer for business analysts, better you coding or somewhat it is everything is in terms of packages, everything is predefined package. So our software is much more related to better visualization. Okay, statistical tool, yes, but Python it is a pure programming language. So if you want to become a business analyst, so you start with R, or otherwise directly you can just jump to Python. It is very easy to learn. Everything is pre-built, okay, preloaded. Every packages is there. Only thing is you have to know this is what it is. Even I'll suggest you maybe in the near future, if time is possible, if you want to study some software, what you have to do is, we are having some template. Okay, this is how it has to be. So you will start with describing that or understanding that business problem, and then you will just create a model. Each and everything for that you are having template, and again you just type a keyword, which is, even I'm having, if I want I will share to you people, while studying one particular programming language for one particular topic, maybe basics. Okay, you just type a keyword which is called as cheat sheet for R. Okay, R language. Like this you can just type, and I'm having varieties. So as I said, if you want I'll just give you, or otherwise you can just type a keyword like this, cheat sheet for R language. So in a single sheet or within 2 or 3 pages, you will be having all the control structures or programming structures, all the functionalities or all the keywords which is related to that particular language. So this is the best way you can just keep it in mind, all the keywords, so that it will be easy for you. No disadvantages and all. So no disadvantage and all. Like, no, everything is based on scenario. It is not that our language is not like Python, that's all. But we can't say that to be disadvantage and all, because each and every language has been designed for some specific purpose. Okay, so we can't be very specific that it is having disadvantages and all. I won't believe in this. Yeah, without fail. See, even I'm just attending FDP, conducted by other government organizations. Even there, what they are insisting is, without fail, you'll be having analytics job. Okay, you people are very specialized or to be specialized in business analytics. Okay, even for interdisciplinary projects, what they are asking is, they are asking for domain knowledge. Okay, yesterday in that particular FDP, they were asking about mechanical engineering principles, that is domain knowledge which is related to mechanical without fail. So they are doing a project related to boiler company, so they want to do analytics. Okay, so my suggestion is, you be very specific in your domain, whatever it is, whether you're taking your in your management field, maybe sales, purchase, or finance. See, Python for finance is there in top nowadays. Okay, so more demand is there in industry. So if you want, you become specialized in particular domain, and along with that, you just learn any one software, or either or you go for Python, whatever it is. So even after COVID and all, nothing possible. Everything is there online. We are having so many options, so we have to use it efficiently. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
I think Sudhir is left with a question. Is cheat sheet available? Sudhir, could you ask a question? Is this cheat sheet available in any websites, ma'am?
Wait, sir. I'll send to you. That will be useful when they are starting studying about our language. Already, if they are familiar with, no problem. They can start with this cheat sheet. I'll send to your mail ID. Sir?
Yes, thank you very much. And the session is very intensive. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Thank you. Here.
Sir?
Ma'am, கேக்குதா?
இத்தனை நேரம்
Ma'am, கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது. இப்ப கேக்குது சார், சொல்லுங்க.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to thank you personally. Ma'am, கேக்குதா?
கொஞ்சம் விட்டு கேக்குது.
Thank you very much. Just line la irukka, ma'am. Only 1 minute. I'll just come up. Could you hear me right now, ma'am? Ma'am, இப்ப கேக்குதா?
கேக்குது, சொல்லுங்க.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your intensive presentation.
Okay, sir. Sir, last ஒரு question கேட்டிருக்காங்க.
Hello. On behalf of GSB as well as சொல்லுங்க.
அவங்க question கேட்டிருக்காங்க. If there are any certified courses available in business analytics. Okay, I'll just tell them. Many many organizations they are providing business analytics course. I'll suggest Coursera you are having introduction to business analytics. Even June 29th only it started. So you're having two options with payment and without payment. Okay. So like auditing போய் அதுல like ஒரு option இருக்கு. அதுல போயிட்டு they can join. So these courses
Okay.
will like no have more weightage in terms of their resumes, like no CV in
Okay.
the near future.
Okay.
So that
Okay.
is one course which is globally recognized. Coursera இப்போதான் ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்காங்க, which is very simple. Within a single month, if you are sitting each day, you can just complete it. Or otherwise, we are having many like no organizations, like no companies, they are offering business analytics course. Many things is there. IntelliPat is there. Yes, like Kaggle no ஒரு site இருக்கு. Kaggle. Yes. Once
Okay.
நம்ம வந்து experience ஆயிட்டோம்னா, we can just go and like no give our models there so that we will get money. So இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய இருக்கு. But the thing is, you people have to be like no become familiar with our environment. That's all. So certificate courses is
Okay.
there.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for the detailed answer, and we are really thankful to you.
Yes,
On behalf
sir.
of GFB and my personal behalf, I would like to express my heartiest thanks for your sharing your valuable time. And
Yes,
if there
sir.
are any questions, I'll ask the students to shoot a mail to you. Hope you will support them in future also.
Okay,
And,
sir. No problem.
On behalf of Margadarshan as well as GSB, I would like to thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for your intensive and superb presentation. Thank you so much.
Any feedback from student side, sir? Whether they are able to understand what is
I
their
will-
idea?
Sure, ma'am. I'll collect the feedback and I'll send it to you, ma'am. No issues.
Okay,
And
okay.
this recorded version also, I will ask my colleague to send it to you.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Nice
Okay,
talking
sir.
to you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a nice
Thank you,
day.
sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Students, all of you,
Yes,
just
sir.
attend the afternoon class. I'll get back to you. We'll close the session.